Coming to the stage next, she is a slam poet, and she's amazing. Please welcome Too Deep.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing?
Yeah.
You're good? You're good? Great, I'm black. Shocker, spoiler alert. You're shocked. Imagine how shocked I was. I found out that I was black and what it meant to be black in America when I was around 20. I have a Nigerian mom and a Puerto Rican dad. Yes. So I knew I was black. I just didn't know I was black. You know, and I lived all over the world, and so for me, I was always surrounded by my black culture, and I didn't know that there was a different opinion about my being black that was different from mine. Until one summer at Auburn University, my Nigerian friend KJ comes up to me and he goes, "I know a way that we can get some money." Oh. Let me guess, you got a rich aunt, you want me to send a check back to her in Africa? No, it is not a scam. We will sell encyclopedias door to door, and we will make money for tuitions and books. Oh, great idea, because I'm broke. I mean, I was broke. So I was like, yeah, this is a great idea. So we interview, we get the job, and we're on the road from Alabama to Minnesota. Yeah, Alabama to Minnesota. So halfway there, we're in Wisconsin, we stop and get some gas, and we walk into this gas station, and this little white kid sees us, and he does the lean back. "Mommy! Chocolate people! Can I eat them?" Now the first thought that came to mind was not, is this kid racist? But does this kid not have cable? I mean, no, he's got me feeling guilty as I reach for a chocolate bar and a Nestle Quick because I felt like I was taking a bite out of my grandmother and drinking my sister. I asked God for forgiveness and I got back in the car. And when we get to Minnesota, we show up at our host house, and this is where we're going to be staying for the whole entire summer that we're there. And I get new roommates. I get this one Asian girl and this one white girl. And we're so happy to see each other. And they give us all of our materials that we're going to be pitching throughout the summer to sell these encyclopedias. And we get a map of the area that each person will, canvass throughout the summer in order to sell their books. Well, one girl gets St. Paul, the other one gets Zimmerman, and I get Coon Rapids. If there was ever a moment when you know that God has a sense of humor, it is when he gives the black girl Coon Rapids, Minnesota. But I just suck it up. I think, okay. So the next morning I get up and I go, canvass my town, and I find this one neighborhood. It looks like the Truman Show. I mean, there is a Stepford wife on every lawn. There's cars in the driveway that I can't even pronounce, and there are kids playing double dutch and hopscotch. I mean, it's a beautiful scene. So I pull my little Dodge Neon over to the side of the curb, and I go, this is gonna be profitable. So I get out and I go to the back of the car, and I'm putting on my messenger bag and grabbing my materials. And by the time I closed the trunk, it went from the Truman Show to the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I looked like one of those bad guys that had walked into town. With that one tumbleweed just rolling across. And I thought, man, these people are fast. So I set it up, and I walk over to my first house, and it has this beautiful big bay window. And I'm knocking on the door, and you can see the family through the bay window. And they're on this L-shaped couch, and I'm just knocking away. And the father looks at me and extends his hand and turns up the volume on the television to drown out my knocking on the door. So I go to the next door, and I knock. Nothing. Next door, and I knock. Nothing. Then finally, this beautiful replica of Shirley Temple herself opens the door. My mama said, I can't talk to you. And in the reflection of the glass weather door, I see myself. I've got on slacks, a button up, and a messenger bag. And it hits me. These people think I'm a Jehovah's Witness selling the gospel. I mean, I wasn't allowed to open the door for Jehovah's Witnesses either. I didn't know why, I just knew I wasn't. And so I get it, I've got to change my tactics. So I go to the next door and I knock. Don't be alarmed, I'm not a Jehovah's Witness. Nothing. And it goes on like this for 4 weeks. Nobody opens up the door. And I am afraid because now I won't be able to afford my thank you rent that we give to our host mother for letting her, for allowing us to stay in her basement. And I mean, I am just freaking out. I don't know what to do. I mean, I was so broke that I couldn't even afford to buy chicken to eat. Do you know how broke a black person gotta be that they can't afford chicken? I mean, really. It was just me, a jar of Jiffy, and a pack of Wonder Bread. And I'm sitting over there listening to Tupac and Biggie. I mean, it was me against the world. And I mean, it got a little depressing until it hit me. I needed to find my people. So I get up and I go to a gas station and I'm pacing backwards and forward. And I know I look like an unsub from Criminal Minds because I had the hoodie on and I was mumbling to myself. And then I lunge at the first person that comes to mind. It was this black guy and I just go, "Excuse me, sir. Can you help me find my people?" Huh? My people, black people. Girl, well, the closest ones anyhow, they about 50 miles away. They up there in that Bloomington up there by that theater, Guthrie, by the Route 7. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So I go home with new enthusiasm and I get up the next morning and I go to Bloomington and I stand at my first door with my messenger bag and I knock. And I wait. And slowly the door opens up and without any thought, it just vomits out of my mouth. "Good morning, sir. I'm not a Jehovah's Witness. I just have some books and materials that I just want to tell you and I just wanted to share with my people. Please tell me that you're my people." Child. Why was that your introduction? Because nothing else worked. I mean, I just came from Coon Rapids and Coon Rapids. Come on in, girl, come on. And I do. And Mr. Belton and his wife sit me down and they call everybody that they know and they buy books from me. I sold over 400 units in an hour, and I couldn't do that in 6 weeks in Coon Rapids. And while we wait for a couple of callbacks, Mr. Belton sits me down and he explains to me my experience in Coon Rapids. He said it was plainly racism. And racism is the fear of not knowing, so you fear what you don't know. It hit me, you know? And I finally knew what I had to do. So the next morning, I get up and I go back to Coon Rapids. And I knock on the door, and I wait. And for every door that does not open, I leave a little message about myself. "Hi, I'm Too Deep. I was born in Germany. I'm the second of 2 kids. And I like Biggie and Tupac, you know, the basics, you know? And I did this so that they could get to know me. Because if racism is the art of fearing what you don't know, then you can't hate me if you know me. So I do this for a couple more weeks. And finally I get to this one house and the door swings open before I can even touch it. "Are you going to keep coming to my house?" "Yes." "What would make you stop?" "If you listen to the product that I gotta sell you." "Then will you stop coming around?" "Only if you want me to." "Well, I'll talk to my husband and I'll think about it." So I leave her a little nice note, and she didn't buy. She needed to know something else about me. So I come back a few days later, and she buys a book, and another neighbor buys a book, and it starts this ripple effect. And another buys a book, and another buys a book. Now I wish I could say that this ended the beef between East Coast and West Coast and Tupac and Biggie. But it didn't. And at the end of the summer, I decided that I would leave everyone who did not open up the door the soundtrack of my summer. So I put a compilation CD of Tupac and Biggie in their mailboxes. It was my way of making sure that they got to know me. And hopefully, you do too.